You may or may not have watched a video that I made yesterday about Sean and I and not having an awesome day yesterday. Um, all kinds of stuff going on. And then the day before that, we had a power outage, and Sean was just about to, it was only for 2 hours, but like 5 minutes in, he's like, oh! Um, but I posted it, and then I had different messages from people basically saying that, they've been having crappy days too, but like, if they say anything, then they're jerks, or like they're made to feel worse. Like, if your grandparents did it, and Anne Frank, was in isolation for 2 years, in a behind a wall. I mean, it's insane how we can still be appreciative and understand, like, yeah, we don't have it that bad, and all of this, but it's okay to have like a shit day or like a shit moment and even a shit couple of days, I mean, especially for a lot of you who are homeschooling for the first time, people who aren't used to being stuck at home. For Sean and I mean, this is like no big deal for us, honestly. I mean, we're inconvenienced a bit because we can't go for walks together outside and, explore every day and just walking around. I mean, it's not like we go do anything crazy every day, but I mean, traveling like this, I mean, we're with each other 24/7 already. And we usually are in a place, whether it's small or, not like a big expansive place with a big yard and all this stuff. So we're used to being a little bit cooped up, if you will. And, but even then it's still, sometimes it's hard, or sometimes it's, like, especially when you're told you can't go do something, then you're like, I need to do it. Like, you're going on a diet and now all of a sudden you're craving everything you're on your diet to avoid. So if you need to hear this and you're one of those people who's like feeling like awful for even feeling bad, or saying that you feel bad, or like not being able to share that like you're struggling or whatever, even if you're not just struggling forever, like you're just having like a couple days, or a week, or maybe you're worried about the bills, or your job, or your friends, you have sick family members, you haven't seen your own children, you're in isolation, you have other family members that you can't see, you're pregnant and you're worried. I have 2 friends that are pregnant and worried about their partners not being able to be with them, or what happens to them, or the baby. I mean, like, there's so many people that, like, I mean, there's stresses, and I think it's okay to say, like, hey, I'm fucking stressed right now, like this is tough for me, without being made to feel like you're an asshole for it. Also, on the flip side of it, I was thinking about how I had a conversation with our daughter a couple weeks ago about how this is a good time to just take stock of your life and how you want it to be, and maybe to learn other trades and learn other things to do. And thank goodness she has a lot of different skill sets that she was utilizing prior to this, that she's able to use to do some other work, so that as an artist she does not completely broke during this period of time. So that's awesome. Otherwise that would be really stressful for us also, knowing that she was in some hardship. But there's so many great ideas that come from things like this, $1,000,000 ideas, ideas of how to be with your family more. Maybe a lot of you are going to be like, hey, this has actually been awesome, and you're going to go back to work, or go back to your normal grind at some point and be like, I miss being able to play with my kids, or I miss being able to tuck them in at night, or I miss having that time with my partner. Or you might be just like, shit, I am done with this. I think a lot of awesome things, in addition to all the shit things that are going on, are going to come out of this. And my hope is, I'm doing this, I am embracing all the positives. Sean and I have chats about what we want to change, just in our business, in our day-to-day lives, how we want to maybe do things a little differently, how we like some of the things that we're still doing and don't want to change those. I think that those are great things to talk about also. So look, I'm no doctor, I'm no PhD, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a person out there who sees people who are struggling and have a big fat mouth, and I think that somebody needs to, more people, I think that there are people who say this, but I think there needs to be more people who say, look, it's okay to feel like shit. It's okay to complain a little bit, but what it's not okay to do is to bury your head in the sand and to dwell in it. Have your moment, next day, pull your fucking panties up and do something different. Like, make the best of it, spend more time with your kids. I was exhausted yesterday, and I put Sebastian to bed, put Sean and Sebastian to bed. And he came out like half an hour later. Sean had fallen asleep. He came out with 2 of his stuffed animals, and he comes out and he peeks around the corner. Now, this is my, like, I have some downtime. I don't have him climbing on me all day long. We're entertaining him. He takes one short nap a day, usually early in the morning. So from like 11 a.m. until 7 or 8 at night, at least, kid is awake. So during that whole time, we have to entertain him, and in a small space with no yard, no going to playground, nothing. So, I mean, it's a task. He's 2, almost 2.5. And so he comes out and he's holding his little dollies. And instead of being like frustrated, like, oh, dude, go back to bed, I just saw him and I just said, hey, buddy. And he ran to me and hugged me. And then I kissed him for a minute, and he said he didn't want to go back to bed. So I read him some books and hung out with him a little bit longer because I had nowhere else to go. I had nothing I had to do necessarily right at that moment. And I hope that, if you're having a similar kind of situation, instead of getting frustrated that, finally you had some downtime, you're not, especially if you're home and you haven't been home in a long time, or you're a stay-at-home mom already, or dad, or whatever, like, embrace that smile, let them know you're happy to see them, and then go put their asses back to bed nicely. But anyway, I just felt compelled to say something. I don't know, maybe you tell me to screw you, Wendy, whatever, or maybe you're like, thank you. Either way, if you need to hear it, I just needed to say it. So if you need to hear it, awesome. And if you didn't need to hear it, change the channel. Anyway, I hope you guys get through this, and everybody's in it together, and hopefully they're being helpful to one another and everybody, and staying your 6 feet apart, but being respectful. And I hope everyone comes out of this on the other side.